Good morning, children. Today we are going to start our first chapter of the history, that is what, where, how, and when. So, in this chapter, basically, we are going to understand that whatever kind of the historical incidents or events have happened, actually, we are going to search it that what happened, where happened, how it has happened, and when it has happened. So, when we try to answer all these type of questions, that clearly means that we are actually discussing about our past. That what happened in our past, where it has happened, how and when it has happened. So, in this way, we are going to understand the chapter with the help of this question that what, where, how, and when the things have happened. So, first of all, we are going to see the Rashida's question on the top. The Rashida sat reading the newspaper. Suddenly, her eyes fell on small headline 100 years ago. This was the line. How she wondered, could anyone know what had happened so many years ago? So Rashida felt that how anybody can know the things about 100 years ago. How, in this way, she wondered, could anyone know uh, what had happened so many years ago with what or what kind of source? So this was her question. So actually, in this chapter, we are going to answer, we are going to understand that how anybody can know about the 100 years ago. So first of all, we are going to see the first point, that is finding out about what happened. Yesterday, you could listen to the radio, watch television, news, read a newspaper. Last year, ask anybody who remembers. But what about long, long ago? Let us see how it can be done. So, in this way, the first question that we are going to understand in this chapter is what can we know about the past? So, in this chapter, basically, we are going to understand that what can we know about the past. So, there are several things we can know about the about our past, and such as the first thing that we can understand about the past, what people used to eat, uh, what type of clothes they used to wear, houses in which they lived, as well as how were the lives of hunters, herders, farmers, rulers, merchants, priests, craftspersons, artists, musicians, and scientists. The games children used to play, the stories they have heard about, and the songs they sang. In this way, we can say that we can know many things about the past, such as what kind of food the people were eating, as you can see in this picture, what kind of food they were eating, or what kind of clothes they were wearing. These kind of things we can know about the past, as well as how was their life, which kind of houses they were living in. Okay, so in this way, we can say that the people we can understand many things about the history in or our past in this way, that what kind of food the people were eating, what kind of clothes they were eating, in what kind of houses they were living, and how was their life. Actually, the people were doing many kind of activities in the past. In the very ancient time, the people were doing the hunting, herding. Hunting means killing the animal for getting the food and all that. There were so many people, those who were rearing their herds, we can say. Herds means what? Herds means there are many kind of things, many kind of animals which were reared by the animal. So in this way, we can also say that some of the people were doing the work of the herding, and some were the farmers also. some were the rulers also, some people were doing the businesses or the trading, so there were some merchants also. Some people were also there who were the priests who were doing the work of the worship and all that. There were some craft persons who were making different kind of crafts and arts, as well as some artists were there, artists like musicians, musicians were there, painters were there, as well as in the historical time some scientists were also there. So in this way we can say there were so many kind of people about whom we can know in the past, as well as you know very well today also you play the different kind of games and plays and all that. So, what kind of games and plays the children used to play in the historical time? That also we can try to understand from the uh, past or from the history, and what kind of songs they used to listen, or what kind of songs they were, um, what kind of songs they were singing. All these things we can know about the past. Now, the next question comes that where did people live? Where the people used to live in the past time, that we can understand from the study of the past. So here we can say that there are, we can say the people have lived along the banks of river for several hundred thousand years. Some of the earliest people who lived here were skilled gatherers, that is, people who gathered their food. They knew about the vast wealth of plants in the surrounding forest and collected roots, fruits, and other forest produce for their food. They also hunted animals. So, in this way, we can say the people initially we can say they were living near the banks of the river. Some of the people who lived here were skilled in gathering. Gathering means what? Whatever the kind of things they were getting, or whatever the kind of hunting they were doing, they were gathering all this thing together and then they were distributing it to each other. And therefore, these kind of people, those who were hunting and then gathering all the meat and all kind of things from the forest produce, they were gathering. As they were gathering all these things, they were also called as gatherers. People who gathered their food, they were called as gatherers. So they knew about vast wealth of plants. Actually, they were full of information of plants in surroundings, forests and for collected roots, fruits and other forest produce for their food. So in this way, they also hunted the animals and they all were gathering the food. Some of see if you will find on the map of India that is given in our book on the in this chapter, you will able to find Suleiman and Kirthar hills to the northwest of our country. Some of the areas where women and men first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley about 8,000 years ago are located here. People also began rearing animals like sheep, goat, cattle, and lived in villages. These were some, if you will find out, the Garo Hills in the northeast part of our country, Vindhyas in central India. These were some of the other areas where uh, the agriculture developed. The places where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhyas. Where the rice is first grown, the place where it is in the north of the Vindhyas. If you can see this map, in this map, the Vindhyas are clearly shown. The Vindhyas are the hill ranges in the central India, and they are probably found in the Madhya Pradesh. So, in the north of the Vindhyan range, the cultivation of rice was going on. And in this way, we can say about 4,700 years ago, some of the early cities flourished on the banks of these rivers. Which river? Narmada River, like Ganga River, and all that. And later, about 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of the Ganga River. Where the cities have developed? On the banks of the Ganga River. In this way, we can say, in this way, we can say that about 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of the Ganga River and its tributaries and along the sea coast. Now, the next question that we are going to understand is, where did the people live? The same question. So we can say that the areas where women and men first began to grow crops such as wheat and barley was about 8,000 years ago. People also began to look after the animals like sheep, goat, and cattle, and used to live in villages. The places where rice was first grown are to the north of the Vindhyas. About 2,500 years ago, cities developed on the banks of the Ganga and its tributaries and along the sea coast. So, this is where the people started to live first. As well as in ancient time, the area along the Ganga and its tributaries means what? The tributaries means the small supportive rivers of a huge river, which are coming from different direction and meeting to main river. All these rivers or all these sub rivers are also called as the tributaries. So, in the region of Ganga River as well as Ganga River and its tributaries, whatever the region was there, this region was named as the Magad region. And this Magad region is now lying in the state of Bihar. As you can see in this map, here it is clearly shown that where the Magad region is situated. So it was along with it was in the region of the Ganga as well as along with its tributaries, the Magad region developed. Men and women moved in search of livelihood and also to escape from natural disasters like floods or droughts. Means men and women moving here and there in search of livelihood, as well as very well in the ancient time also the disasters were taking place. So for for surviving their life from the this kind of disasters and floods and drought conditions, they were moving here and there. So they were moving here and there. These movements of the people enriched our cultural tradition. As the people started to move here and there to escape from the natural disasters like floods and droughts, the people were moving throughout the subcontinent and in many parts of the world. So in this way, these movements of the people have enriched our cultural tradition. Means whatever the culture we can see today, whatever the type of clothes we wear, whatever the type of songs we have, whatever the type of foods we have, we foods we eat, all these are the part of the culture, and these all the part of the culture have developed with the help of the movement of the people which were moving here and there for their life. In this way, people have shared new ways of carving stones, composing music, and even cooking food over several hundred years. So, in this way, the people have shared their new ways of carving stone as they were moving here and there. They were sharing whatever the knowledge they were having. For example, if anybody is knowing about the carving the stone, so they were sharing the ways of carving the stone. If anybody knows any song or anybody has composed any song, so they were sharing the ways of singing that song or music. And even the style of cooking were also shared by the people hundreds of years. Now we are going to move to understand the next topic, that is name of the land. uh, See, today we call our country as India, Bharat, or Hindustan. In the very ancient time, our Indian subcontinent were also called as the Jambudvip. Why it was called as the Jambudvip? Because the India in this subcontinent, the the jamun trees were very common on this whole subcontinent, and therefore, on to our country as well as the other uh, the other kind of whatever the islands were there. These all the islands and subcontinent was called as the Jambudvip. So our country known by both word like India and Bharat. Do you know that how the India this word we have got? This India, this word we have got from the river Indus. From the river Indus, called the river Indus, it is also called as the Sindhu in Sanskrit language. So Indus River, from the Indus River, we have got the name as India. In the ancient time, in the Iranian and Greek peoples, who came through the northwest about 2500 years ago, called it the Hindos or Indos. This Indus River or the Sindh River, as they were not able to pronounce it properly, so in place of calling it Sindhu, they called this river as Hindos. They were not able to call it properly. And, as well as some Greek people called it as Indos. So from in this way, the Sindhu River has got the name as Indus River, and the people those who are living in the basin of the Indus River were called as the Hindus, as well as they were called the India. This Indian subcontinent's northwestern part, especially, was called as the India, and the land to the east of the river was called as India. So land to the east of the Indus River was called as the India. See, in that time, this India was for a particular region, not for not the India. The was not This India word was not used for throughout the country. This India word was not used for the throughout the country. It was used only for a particular region, that was almost in the region of Punjab, Haryana, Jammu Kashmir, Rajasthan, some parts of Uttar Pradesh. This region was called as India, but the southern part was not called as India. It was not under. It was not initially called as India, but later on, as we have got our, as we have tried to understand our subcontinent, we have called all the whole country as India. The name Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest. You know who were the Bharat? Bharat was the group of people basically. These people were Aryan people who came from the Eurasian part of our country. So Bharat was used for a group of people who lived in the northwest and who are mentioned in the Rig Veda. About the Bharat people or Bharat group of people, uh, in the there are four Vedas: Samved, Yajurved, Rig Ved, Atharva Ved. From all these Ved, there is one Ved that is called Rig Veda. In the Rig Veda, we come to know about the Bharat, the people of the Bharat group. And why this group was called as the Bharat? Because the king of this group was named as Bharat. So on the basis of this name, our country has got the name as Bharat. So the earliest composition in Sanskrit dated. What is Rigveda basically? The Rigveda is the earliest composition in Sanskrit dated to about 3500 years ago. Later it was used for the country. So as the Bharat was initially used in Rigveda in the Sanskrit language, later on this word as the Bharat used for the whole country. Otherwise it was called as Jambudvip initially. Now finding out about the past. So there are so many ways or so many things through which we can find out about the past. One way through which we can find out about our past is by reading the books that were written long ago. So we can study the very ancient and old books like Rig Veda, Yajurved, Samved, and all that. And there are so many books were written at that time also. You know very well, almost 3,500 years ago, the Rig Veda was written. So these kind of historical books we can read to know about the past, as well as these books are called manuscripts because uh, they were written by hands. As you can see on the top of this slide here, these kind of writings on the bark of the leaf or on the palm tree, on the leaf of the palm tree was called as the manuscripts. Manu means hand and script meant writing. So as it was written by the hand, it was written by the hand. It was called as manuscript. So through the manuscripts also we can know about our past. There were and as I've already told you, these were written on the palm leaves or specially prepared bark of tree known as the birch, which grows in the Himalayas. These books dealt with all kind of subjects, religious beliefs and practices, the lives of the medicines and the lives of the kings, and medicines and science. These books were written on these topics. As well as we can know about the past from the archaeologists also. Who are the archaeologists? The archaeologists are the people those who are studying the old objects. For example, old building, old pot, old pillar. So as you can see here, one person is digging out, or one person is clearing one very old structure. So what he is doing basically, this person is an archaeologist and he is trying to study the old objects, ancient objects through which we can get to know about the past. So who is archaeologist? Archaeologist is a person who studies about the past. Besides, there were epics, poems, plays as well. You know you very well. Ramayana is there, Mahabharata is there, Bhagavad Gita is there. So these all are the epics and poems. From these epics and poems also, like Ramayana and Mahabharata, as well as the old plays, we can understand about our country's past. So in this way, we have understood all these things. The remaining part of the chapter we are going to understand in the next period. Till then, thank you very much.